You're halfway through your coffee when someone drops the dreaded phrase, "Gen Z has it so easy." Suddenly, the mood shifts. It's war, and not the funny kind. It's the great generational debate. Millennials versus Gen Z. Who's really struggling more in 2025? Let's rewind. Millennials, born between 1981 and 1996, were promised a smooth ride. Go to college, get a job, build a future. Instead, they graduated into the 2008 financial crisis. Jobs were scarce, rent was high, and student loans hit like a truck. Many delayed marriage, kids, even home ownership, not by choice, but by sheer economic pressure. They adapted, but they struggled. Now enter Gen Z, born between 1997 and 2012. They've never known a world without smartphones, social media, or online drama. But they also came of age during a global pandemic. Classrooms became Zoom calls. Proms, graduations, all canceled. Life milestones vanished, replaced by Wi-Fi issues and TikTok trends. They're digital natives in a chaotic world, trying to build stability from a place of constant disruption. When it comes to work, both generations have it tough, but in different ways. Millennials entered a frozen job market. Hiring was slow, wages were low, and unpaid internships were common. But they learned to hustle, often working multiple jobs to stay afloat. Gen Z, on the other hand, is stepping into a world of hybrid jobs and remote interviews. But employers say Gen Z is harder to manage, less loyal, and glued to their phones. In 2024, surveys found that Gen Z was voted the hardest generation to work with, even by other Gen Z workers. And then there's money. Millennials faced economic collapse. Gen Z faces inflation. In 2025, millennials might have more savings, but they're still catching up. Gen Z earns more than millennials did at the same age, but everything, from coffee to rent, costs more. Many Gen Zers are relying on buy now, pay later apps. Credit card debt is soaring. And that dream of owning a house? For most, it feels even further away than it did for millennials. Mental health? It's front and center for both. Millennials helped normalize therapy, but Gen Z made it mainstream. Still, Gen Z reports higher rates of anxiety and depression. Many experts blame the pandemic, online comparison culture, and the nonstop flood of bad news. Gen Z is more open about their feelings, but they're also more overwhelmed than ever. Let's talk housing. Millennials took longer to leave their parents' homes, longer to rent, and longer to buy. In 2025, just over half of millennials own homes. Gen Z is behind that curve, but they're still young. The oldest Gen Zs are around 26, and only about 28% own homes. Still, that's actually ahead of millennials at the same age. The catch? Housing prices keep rising, and private equity firms are buying up properties. That makes the dream of ownership harder for everyone. Marriage and family? Millennials waited longer to settle down, often because of financial struggles. Many delayed kids, and some decided not to have any at all. Gen Z seems to be following that trend, but they're also dating less, marrying less, and a surprising number say they never plan to have children. Why? Economics, yes, but also climate anxiety. Many Gen Zers question whether it's even ethical to bring kids into a world this unstable. And while Gen Z may have healthier habits, drinking and smoking less than millennials, they're also moving less. After COVID lockdowns, exercise rates dropped sharply. Many Gen Z adults don't hit the gym even once a week. That's led to rising concerns about obesity, diabetes, and long-term health. So, who really has it worse? Millennials were raised with big dreams and crushed expectations. Gen Z was raised in chaos and learned to survive in it. Millennials had to recover. Gen Z never knew normal to begin with. If you ask millennials, they'll tell you, we got the short end of the stick. If you ask Gen Z, they'll say, we got no stick at all. In the end, both generations are trying to build a life in a system that seems rigged against them. So maybe the real answer isn't which one has it worse. But why we keep asking that in the first place? Because when Gen Z and Millennials stop arguing with each other, they might just realize they're on the same side.